were you involved with more than one man?
No, I was not, and he did not tell me that he was dealing with other women while me and him were talking. So I did not know that he was playing the
Men usually don't tell you. They want to keep
She
getting
went through my phone and other women back.
And as far as him saying that he was in jail, I have proof right here that he didn't get arrested until 2 days after the baby was born.
So if he was in jail, how did he get arrested again?
With my daughter in the hospital.
I'm not saying it's not a possibility that Brittany could be my daughter. Because of all the circumstances surrounding how Brittany was conceived, I mean, come on, who wouldn't have doubts?
You didn't know it then. It was a third guy. So you had doubts when you thought it was just you.
The episode kicks off with the case of Kapples-Thothrop Harris being introduced. Ms. Kapples claims Mr. Harris is the biological father of her 15-month-old son, Jason, and expects him to officially acknowledge paternity in court. Get ready, because the sparks are just beginning to fly.
This is a case of Kapples versus Harris.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Ms. Kapples, you say you are 100% certain that the defendant is your 15-month-old son, Jason's biological father. He's going to put his name on the dotted line right in front of his girlfriend.
Things are heating up. Mr. Harris and his girlfriend voice their strong doubts about his paternity and desire to be left in peace by Ms. Kapples once the DNA results are disclosed, emphasizing the high stakes for everyone involved. Brace yourself. The plot thickens from here.
You and your girlfriend say there is no way you are Jason's father, and once the results are revealed, you want the plaintiff to leave alone. Ms. Kapples, why do you believe that Mr. Harris is denying your son?
Your Honor, I am here today because Mr. Harris is going to sign this birth certificate today right in front of his girlfriend. She has a lot to do with why he is denying my child. She is very immature.
You won't believe this twist. The relationship between Ms. Kapples and Mr. Harris is outed as casual, with no strings attached, complicating the paternity issue as they were never officially an item but were intimately linked. Hang tight, the surprises keep coming.
We were just
Sleeping together.
sleeping together. That's pretty much it.
In another relationship,
No,
I was not, no.
No, I wasn't.
you find out you're pregnant. Obviously, you weren't using protection if there's a question that he's the biological father. You tell him, did he immediately deny the baby, or did you feel like he's just denying the baby now because of his girlfriend?
You're correct.
As the drama unfolds, Ms. Kapples shares the timeline of their relationship, trying to match it with the conception period of her son, highlighting the crucial timing in the paternity saga. The evidence coming up next is key, so stay tuned.
We're Facebook friends. Mr. Harris, I made him my man crush Monday. He's a good guy, hardworking, good father. Messaged back and forth on Facebook for a while. After that, we exchanged numbers, and after that, we started hanging out, getting up, and it just kind of went from there.
So, Mr. Harris, do you remember finding out Ms. Kapples was pregnant?
She texted me and told me she was pregnant, but then she disappeared for months.
When she texted you and said, I'm pregnant, what did you think? That it could be yours?
It was a possibility.
Hold on to your popcorn. This is a big one. Mrs. Kapples presents a calendar to the court showing the conception window for her son, linking it directly to the period she was involved with Mr. Harris, which she argues proves his paternity. What follows will crank up the tension even further.
You were already pregnant at the point you started dating the other man?
Correct. And I have an exhibit if I could show you.
Absolutely. Please step over to the podium.
Thank you. As you can see, my son Jason was born January 9th, 2016.
Okay.
Me and Mr. Harris were intimate for 9 months, all the way up until May, the beginning of May. September, started talking around September, Mr. Harris. Anyways, like I said, all the way up until the beginning of May.
The courtroom is heating up. A fiery exchange erupts over infidelities and the possibility of other fathers, ramping up the tension in the courtroom and showing the complicated personal dynamics at play. Keep watching. The emotional roller coaster is far from over.
Mr. Harris, if you don't remember whether or not you were with her, is it because you were involved with more than one woman? I mean, you don't remember.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you were with more than one woman at that time?
Yes, Your Honor.
Were you involved with more than one man?
No, I was not, and he did not tell me that he was dealing with other women while me and him were talking. So I did not know that he was playing the
Men usually don't tell you. They want to keep
She
getting
went through
it.
my phone and other women back.
I went through your phone. I didn't text nobody back, but I did go through your
cut
phone.
you off, and
Yes,
then
I
you got
did.
salty.
This heartfelt plea cuts deep. The emotional and social fallout of the uncertain paternity is discussed, underscoring the impact on the child and the need for responsible behavior from both parties. What happens next is critical, so don't go anywhere.
Let's let all the little side comments go, because Ms. Mayfield, Mr. Harris was out there too. This is where we end up, in this courtroom with a beautiful little baby, trying to figure out who the father is.
Right.
Because there was no commitment, there's no marriage, there's no nothing. So it's easy to blame Ms. Caples, but you also have to look at your man. Because he participated.
my man at the time.
It doesn't matter.
Actually, there in the beginning.
Just when you thought it couldn't get more personal, Ms. Caples accuses Mr. Harris of missing out on key moments, like the birth, due to his paternity doubts, which she finds irresponsible and hurtful. The next revelation is jaw-dropping, so keep your eyes peeled.
And my friend had my
texted back. I
cell
didn't know
phone, and she was
actually
texting
having
him
the
the whole time like, she's in labor.
So by the time he never showed, you were angry, and so then you didn't
I wouldn't care. I wasn't worried about him signing the birth certificate at that point.
But my point is this:
This is
if
what you
it
guys are
didn't,
saying.
hold on, if it didn't make any difference to you then, do you know now that that was an error? So you've come to the realization that that was you being angry.
This segment just got real personal. A shocking moment unfolds as Ms. Caples talks about being spied on by Mr. Harris's girlfriend during a medical procedure, revealing deep personal breaches that have muddied the paternity waters. The climax is just around the corner, and it's a doozy.
She don't know that, but she.
I seen him
Oh
crack
no, I
this
don't want
time,
Alexis
but-
around him.
Yeah.
For what?
Why would I
I
want
never
you
even
around
spoke
him? You're
two words
staying
to
in my
her.
hospital room. No, I don't want you around me.
What
never
now?
had a conversation.
Yeah,
What never had a
conversation.
Today is the first day. Hold on. What is this about the hospital room, Ms. Caples?
I'm undergoing surgery, getting ready to have my tubes tied.
That
and
is my
she's
job.
As a woman, I would not want to be in a room with a woman that's having my boyfriend's baby.
You work at the hospital, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And then that was where they told you your station or where you were supposed to be?
As we edge closer to the grand reveal, the judge prepares to unveil the DNA test results, a pivotal moment set to determine the future dynamics between Mr. Harris, Ms. Caples, and the child. The verdict up next is a total game changer.
Have I heard all your doubts, Iris?
A lot of people around town telling me it's not mine. Let's say that's her words. Her words.
People are telling you he's not yours. Then she even says he's not yours.
So to pushing me away while I'm trying to be there for the child.
But
yeah.
you don't think
it's
he's
kind of
yours,
like
though.
he's not.
So why would I keep?
That is the
that's why I
reason
don't
for
want
that.
it.
The
One
reason
minute
for
you
that.
don't
I
think he's
believe-
yours. and
All
the
right,
next
that's
you
what
think
we're
he's
here to
yours.
solve today.
The results are in, and boy, are they a bombshell.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Harris, you are not the father.
Thank
You
you.
didn't sleep with no one else.
Ms.
I would
Caples,
like to publicly apologize to Mr. Harris. I honestly thought that it was yours. We messed around. We were intimate a lot, and you know we were.
Not-
So I apologize from the heart, sincerely. I'm sorry. I really am.
I accept.
Brace yourself for this opener. Ms. Mitchell claims her childhood sweetheart swiped her virginity, got her pregnant, and is now shrugging off paternity of their daughter, Raya Lint. Amid her turmoil and dismay, she highlights the deep personal and emotional stakes involved in their complicated relationship. But this is just the warm-up. You won't believe what's coming up next.
Ms. Mitchell, you are here in the court today because you claim your childhood sweetheart stole your virginity, got you pregnant, and is now denying paternity of your 2-month-old daughter, Raya Lint.
Are you ready for this curveball? Mr. Robinson cast doubt on his paternity by pointing fingers at Ms. Mitchell's alleged flings with 4 other guys around the time she conceived. This bombshell adds layers of drama and mistrust to the saga, opening up a can of worms about fidelity. And guess what? The plot only thickens from here.
You claim you doubt paternity because after Ms. Mitchell told you she was pregnant, you found out she was sleeping with 4 other men.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so Ms. Mitchell, explain to the court, how did you get yourself in this messy situation?
Well, Your Honor, we hung out a few times and he pressured me to have sex with him, and I said I wasn't ready yet.
Wow, talk about a tangled web. The couple dives into the tale of their fateful encounter that led to Ms. Mitchell's pregnancy. They each tell their version of the events, highlighting the confusion and tension simmering between them. As the details unfold, their story takes more twists and turns. Keep watching. The next part is a real doozy.
I was hanging out at these apartment complexes and we hooked up, had sex, I lost my virginity, and I found out I was pregnant 3 weeks later.
Is that account true?
No, Your Honor. We hooked up one time. That was it.
One time? Did you use protection?
No.
No protection.
Didn't see that coming, did you? The drama escalates when Mr. Robinson reveals he learned of Ms. Mitchell's alleged infidelities, not from her, but through a bombshell message from a mutual friend on Facebook. This revelation steers his reaction to the pregnancy news and fuels his doubts. The surprises aren't over yet. The upcoming scene is a real eye-opener.
She didn't
what
even
was
tell me she was pregnant, Your
my
Honor.
friend
She had
called-
one of her friends she grew up with inboxed me and her on Facebook and said, I thought I'd let you know that she had sex with 4 other guys. Okay?
You start getting messages
Yes,
from the peanut gallery.
Yes, Your Honor. From her best friend.
His friend wouldn't say that.
They just want to give
Not
you the
true.
heads up that sleeping with other people.
Get ready for a wild ride. The conversation shifts to the dramatic moment of the baby's birth, where Mr. Robinson is notably absent due to a timely arrest, sending his sister to the hospital in his stead. This pivotal moment underscores the chaotic interplay of personal issues and legal entanglements. But hang on, there's more drama just around the corner.
His sister came. You sent her.
Yes, because I
You
got
sent.
I had got arrested. I'm not going gonna lie. I said, Erica, I said, will you do me a favor? She said, what, bub? I said, you go to the hospital. She said, yes, I will.
And so she went. Yeah,
And
when she
went.
came up, she said that she tried to get Ryan to come, but Heather wouldn't let him.
This just keeps getting better. Ms. Mitchell's mother, Diana, steps up to bat, staunchly defending her daughter and challenging Mr. Robinson's version of events about his arrest timing. Her fiery defense introduces fresh perspectives and adds credibility to their side of the story. Don't go anywhere. What happens next is even more jaw-dropping.
And Hope was raised better than to lay around sleeping with men. I have no clue where they come up with that. And as far as him saying that he was in jail, I have proof right here that he didn't get arrested until 2 days after the baby was born.
So if he was in jail
with my daughter in the hospital.
Can this get any more complicated? Enter Heather Hitchcock, Mr. Robinson's fiancée, who sheds light on her side of the story, detailing her rocky attempts at making peace with Ms. Mitchell. This testimony lays bare the complex social and emotional dynamics complicating their co-parenting attempts. Fasten your seatbelt. The climax is fast approaching.
I don't want Rylan to grow up like that. If she is mine, by all means, I want to give her everything and anything.
Have you
that she
ever
needs.
met Rylan? Have you told Mr. Robinson that he can come and see Rylan only if he leaves Miss Hitchcock at home?
leaves her to come to my house to visit her, but not leave.
You don't want Miss Hitchcock at your house?
No, and I don't want her around my
Your
daughter
Honor, she
either.
doesn't even look like me or
Okay.
my son.
Hold on to your popcorn. The much-anticipated DNA results are finally unveiled.
Comes to 2-month-old Rylan Mitchell. Mr. Robinson, you are the father.
The court retests Mr. Jackson for paternity and announces that the results are ready to be disclosed. The judge prepares to reveal the outcome, heightening the tension in the courtroom. The anticipation among all parties involved is palpable, and just when you thought it couldn't get more intense, the next part ramps it up even more.
You've been saying that Mr. Downing is her biological father, not Mr. Jackson.
I believe.
So the bottom line is-
Mr. Jackson can be in my heart.
So the bottom line is you trust the result that was received, and Brittany, you say you don't.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, well, this court has retested Mr. Jackson.
Can you handle more twists? The results determine that Mr. Jackson is not the biological father of Brittany. The announcement causes visible emotional reactions from everyone, particularly Brittany, who responds with mixed emotions. The judge offers words of consolation to Brittany, acknowledging the difficult nature of the revelation. Buckle up, because the roller coaster isn't over yet.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Downing versus Jones, when it comes to 29-year-old Brittany Stark, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Jackson is not the father. He is not your biological father.
Here comes another curveball. A surprising twist occurs when Judge Lake reveals that there is another potential father, Mr. Aiken, who is joining the proceedings remotely. The introduction of a new possible father adds another layer of complexity and surprise to the case, impacting all involved. Guess what? The surprises just keep coming.
But the court has actually identified yet another possible father. He's going to join us today from his hometown, Mr. Aiken.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us today. Mr. Aiken,
Yes, ma'am.
do you believe you are Brittany's biological father?
Yes, ma'am. I do believe I'm Brittany's biological father.
Feel the room heat up amidst a heated discussion about past relationships and the possibility of another father. Mr. Downing expresses his doubts and frustration over the evolving situation. The dialogue reveals layers of mistrust and unresolved issues among the parties. And just when you think you've heard it all, there's more spice to add to the drama.
You know, I have a 6-year-old daughter and I have a 23-year-old daughter. They both look just like. I'm not saying it's not a possibility that Brittany could be my daughter, but because of all the circumstances surrounding how Brittany was conceived, I mean, come on, who wouldn't have doubts?
You didn't know it then. It was a third guy. So you had doubts when you thought it was just you. So you didn't know it then.
I did. I had doubts.
But Miss Jones,
You had me and another girl. So what you talking about?
Are your jaws ready to drop? The court prepares to disclose the paternity test results for Mr. Aiken. The anticipation builds as the judge slowly reveals that Mr. Aiken is not the father, leading to another wave of shock and disappointment in the courtroom. Fasten your seatbelts, because the next revelation is a real cliffhanger.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Downing versus Jones, when it comes to 29-year-old Brittany Starks, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Aiken, you are not the father.
Wow, 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 wow.
Get ready for more gasps. After discussing the emotional and relational impacts, the results for Mr. Downing are finally disclosed.
It has been determined by this court, Mr. Downing, you are not the father.
Wow, 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 wow.
You are not the biological.
Whoa.
Ms. Mitchell claims paternity dispute just when you thought it couldn't get more intense. Ms. Mitchell says her childhood sweetheart, Mr. Robinson, is denying he's the dad of their 2-month-old daughter, Ryalyn. They had a pretty cozy relationship, which ended up with a baby. Now she's super stressed and disappointed, and she wants the court to back her up. Buckle up, because this is just the beginning.
Ms. Mitchell, you are here in the court today because you claim your childhood sweetheart stole your virginity, got you pregnant, and is now denying paternity of your 2-month-old daughter, Ryalyn.
Mr. Robinson expresses doubts about paternity. Did that just happen? Mr. Robinson isn't so sure he's the dad. He found out after Ms. Mitchell announced her pregnancy that she had been close with 4 other guys around the same time. No wonder he's confused and doesn't trust her. And guess what? Things are about to get even juicier.
You claim you doubt paternity because after Ms. Mitchell told you she was pregnant, you found out she was sleeping with other men.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so Ms. Mitchell, explain to the court, how did you get yourself in this messy situation?
Ms. Mitchell recounts their relationship beginnings. Wowza, that escalated quickly. Ms. Mitchell takes us back to when she and Mr. Robinson first got together. She talks about how they got intimate and how she lost her virginity to him, a big and emotional moment for her. And trust me, you won't believe what's coming next. Keep your eyes glued.
We hung out a few times and he pressured me to have sex with him, and I said I wasn't ready yet. And so then I was hanging out at these apartment complexes and hooked up and had sex. I lost my virginity and I found out I was pregnant 3 weeks later.
Mr. Robinson's absence at the birth. Can you handle this curveball? The court hears that Mr. Robinson got arrested on the night his daughter was born, so he couldn't be there. His sister had to step in for him, making things even more chaotic and stressful for everyone involved. Hold on tight, because the ride's getting wilder.
I had got arrested. I'm not gonna lie. I said, Erica, I said, will you do me a favor? She said, what, bub? I said, will you make...
And so she went.
Yeah,
And
when she
went.
came up, said that she tried to get Ryan to come, but Heather wouldn't let him.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
That's not a lie. That's
That's a
exactly
lie,
what she
Your Honor.
told.
Witness challenges the narrative. Hold on to your popcorn, folks. A witness for Ms. Mitchell, probably a close family member, jumps in to challenge Mr. Robinson's story about his arrest and involvement. This spices things up with family drama and a defense of Ms. Mitchell's character. You're not ready for what's next, but here it comes anyway.
Your witness is literally jumping out of her seat. Please step up.
And hope was raised better than to lay around sleeping with men. I have no clue where they come up with that. Where they come up with 4 men.
Dispute over Mr. Robinson's arrest date. You thought it was over? Think again. They start arguing about exactly when Mr. Robinson got arrested, with documents suggesting his story might not add up. This bit shows just how complicated and heated paternity disputes can get. The grand finale is coming up. Brace yourself.
That he didn't get arrested until 2 days after the baby was born.
So if he was in jail, how did he get arrested again?
And yes, his sister was there, and I said, well, where's Ryan? Well, I'm trying to get a hold of him, and then I said, did you get a hold of him? And she said, no, Heather won't let him come.
Paternity results revealed. Are you sitting down? Because you should be. The big moment arrives as Judge Lake announces the DNA paternity test results.
It comes to 2-month-old Ryalyn Mitchell. Mr. Robinson, you are the father.